Kids, today we're going to do a soup. It's really, in a sense, a very traditional, a very adult soup. So you may not like beans, Borlotti beans. Look at them, Borlotti beans. But this is a soup for the winter and one you can prepare for the adults in your house, the people who look after you, whoever they may be. Very, very simple, but very exciting if you get it right. So you get a packet of these beans, which is about 500 grams, I think. Without my glasses, I'm lost. And you soak them in water in a pot like this overnight, or for at least 12 hours. And you end up with the beans, not soft, but certainly not as hard as they are in the packet. Okay, that's all you have to do. Then you put in one potato, cut in half if it's large, one onion, peel and cut in half again so it can release flavor, a couple of carrots, 2 beautiful local garlic cloves, and maybe a couple of stalks like this of celery. And next, a little pinch of chili, either dry or fresh, it doesn't matter, but just a tiny amount because it's very powerful. A big pinch of salt, there, like that, have a look. And approximately a can of tomato. This is already diced. You buy it already. It's very cheap, and you pop it in. A little sprig of rosemary or sage. As I always say, rosemary is lovely in the kitchen. You can find it growing everywhere in Mildura. Chuck it in and top it up with water. Now this is the basic recipe. Of course, if you have a ham bone or a little bit of bacon left over, you can put it in there for extra flavor. Sometimes I use the crust of a grated cheese. I scrape it, I clean it, I put it in there because anything that adds flavor is welcome into this soup. However, this is strictly vegetarian, right? It's fantastic. Now, all you have to do is put it on the flame, give it a couple of hours, put it on low heat. Like all good things, slow is best, right? How simple is that? Basic. Now we're going to do some pasta, because you can either have the soup as is, or you can stretch it and change its texture and flavor by adding some pasta. Now you can buy pasta and you cook it, and then when it's nearly ready you scoop it out and put it in the soup, or you can make your own. And we'll go over here. Johnny, where are you? We have 2 cups of plain flour, a pinch of salt. Johnny's going to add 1 egg. Watch carefully because most homemade pasta is made with a lot of eggs. But this is going to be pasta on the cheap, so we're going to add water to it. So go for your life, Johnny. I don't know exactly how much water, we'll go by feel. In fact, I can see it needs more. So initially you use a fork so your hands don't get all messy. And you get a feel with the fork for when the egg and the flour and the water sort of start coming together. Best thing is to go slow, especially the first time. When you do this a few times, you get the hang of it. Is it ready?
Yeah.
So, see the consistency? Johnny's going to bring it all together, and he's going to need it, muscles. He's not going to the gym today. He's going to need it for 10 minutes or so because there is something called gluten in the flour, and that is to develop and give the mix some elasticity so we can work with it, and then it has good texture and good flavor when we put it in the soup. See, it's beautiful, it's not sticky. If it sticks to your fingers, you have to add a bit more flour, and when you work it, you just spread some of this gorgeous flour on the bench, cut a little bit off like that with a blunt knife, and hopefully it'll work. and then press it with your finger. And this will just be beautiful with the bean soup. It's a very, very simple process, and you don't really need a lot. It doesn't take that long. This will also swell in the pasta, so that's about one serve for one person. There are ladies who specialize in doing this in southern Italy, particularly in the region of Puglia, which is that spur on the Italian peninsula, if you look at the map, and they'll probably laugh and say, what is that guy doing? Because this is not from my tradition. I come from another part of Italy and I never learned really the art of making this. So if you're watching me do this somewhere in the world and you think it's ridiculous, well, probably it is. But it works and it tastes very good, because you can't go wrong with a bit of egg, flour and water. Okay, as you can see, after a couple of hours it changes color. It goes into this deep brown, which I just love. It's the color of winter. And you've got some celery here. I'll discard it because it's very tough. Oh, well, not tough, it's got too much fiber, and I leave that out. But I smash up the carrots and the potato, and with the ricer I just smash it, right? It's a pity to throw away all these carrots and onions and good stuff. You can chop it up coarsely with a knife, but if you have a potato ricer, you can just squash them in. It gives the soup a bit more density. And look, and there it is. You have your fagioli soup. There's still a couple of pieces of onions here that have flaked off, but we can remove them. Look, it's a very rustic and very simple. The main thing is to get that right consistency, and I have a taste for salt. So creamy and so heartwarming in the winter. Okay, now I'm going to cook the pasta and I'm going to finish the dish. Just to do a couple of serves just to show you what I mean. There it is. On the stove. I'll salt the water as usual. Remember, bit of salt in the water. Pop your pasta in. And because it's homemade, it cooks very quickly. And the texture is chewy, because that's what you want with this soup. You want a bit of coarseness. When it comes to the top, it's ready to go. So I'll turn it off, and it's a very resilient pasta, so you can cook it and recook it in these beans. It won't lose its texture. This will be a very generous serve. Bring it all back to the boil, and then you do a few adjustments. One of them that I really like is to put a freshly made olive oil, not old stuff, just a little, no more than 2 teaspoons, say, and a nice pinch of, you don't need this, especially if you want to stay as vegetarian as possible. Just some sprinkle of cheese, quality cheese. Stir it around, and look at that. That's so magnificent. It's so inviting. It's very wintry and totally delicious. I am sure that whoever looks after you will be very pleased if you make the effort, and there's no real work involved. As I said, you can buy the pasta ready made, and all you have to do is cook it and throw it in with the soup. Look at those magnificent soft beans, a bit more cheese, maybe a little extra oil, just that extra olive oil made in St. Regia. This time of the year we make oil, and it gives a sensational flavor to a basic soup like this. Enjoy it. Remember, Borlotti beans. What a mess I've made. Ah!